Italian boxer Angela Carini faced Imane Khelif of Algeria in a highly debated match at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Carini withdrew after just 46 seconds, citing safety concerns, as Khelif had previously failed a gender test but was allowed to compete. This decision sparked outrage, with UFC fighters and fans questioning the fairness of the competition. Many argued that the International Olympic Committee's decision compromises the integrity of women's sports, highlighting the ongoing debate over gender eligibility in athletics. Johnny Walker, the #9 ranked UFC light heavyweight, was particularly upset with the decision to allow the match to proceed. He initially took to X, formerly Twitter, to express his frustration, but later deleted his post, admitting that he didn't have enough information to comment on the situation further. Dillon Danis also weighed in, expressing his belief that Angela Carini was unfairly denied a chance to fulfill her Olympic dream. True to his style, Danis also took the opportunity to criticize someone he dislikes. Colby Covington, the former interim UFC welterweight champion, added his voice to the discussion, strongly opposing the inclusion of men in women's sports. He emphasized the importance of maintaining fair competition.
Colby, your thoughts on these rules, men and women in the same ring?
It's despicable. Biological men shouldn't be allowed to compete in women's sports. Doesn't matter what their hormone levels or pronouns are, they're still biological men. When they dig up their bones in 200 years, their bones won't leave pronouns. They're just going to leave XX and XY chromosomes. And unfortunately, boxing is a sport that could potentially have fatal consequences. This is endangering someone's life, one of our American daughters' lives. So this is not a good idea. They shouldn't even be entertaining this. This is crossing the line, and we got to fight back against this wokeism. So to let women go against men is completely irresponsible, unethical, and dangerous. This must be a PR stunt from the USA boxing team, because anyone sincerely suggesting this is a good idea needs to seek serious professional help immediately.
Jake Paul offered Angela Carini a life-changing opportunity following the controversy, although the specifics of the offer were not detailed. Rafael Dos Anjos, a former UFC lightweight champion, also criticized the fight. He expressed that allowing Khelif to compete in women's boxing was unfair and wrong. Strickland went off and called it another disgrace.
So you guys, what do we know about this boxer? We know this boxer failed a gender test. We know that this boxer was not tested for her or his gender in the Olympics. We know the Olympics gender test consists of, hey, what does your passport say? And you can't blame us for being skeptical of the Olympics after they just fucking shoved this transgender fucking cesspool down our fucking throats. So yes, Olympics, we are a little fucking skeptical of you. But let's give this boxer the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say that yes, you did fail a gender test, and yes, you do have male chromosomes, and yes, you were born a woman and you claim to be a woman. Let's say this happened. You can do anything on this fucking planet. You can be a fucking doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can cure fucking cancer. But what you shouldn't do, what you can't do, is go fucking beat up women. So just fucking stop.
Gutierrez said the Olympics are corrupt. Max Griffin also jumped in the discussing, urging this to stop.
I'm not one to wake up pissed, but here we are. This morning I woke up the news that a biological male beat up a woman in the Olympics. I heard about this a few days ago. There's a person from Algeria, a person from Taiwan, and how they got disqualified from the women's boxing championships for having testosterone levels that weren't normal. And then here we are. Angela Mancini from Italy fought this person for about 45 seconds and said, you know what? I've been hit way too hard. This isn't right. So she waved the right flag, which I commend her for. Terrible. Diabolical. And you've seen the opening ceremony, so you already know what kind of vibe these people are on. You should. This isn't right. It's a freaking travesty. They need to not compete. They need to not compete. Not against women. They should join the men's division, or we should have Clarissa Shields come up in there and beat them down. What do you think about this? This is way too far. If you don't think it's too far, something's wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. For feelings.
Olympics, an emotional time for Angela
F your
Carini,
feelings.
who
Thank you.
lost her
Joe Rogan said the Olympics are a scam and was very critical of the decision to let this happen.
It's so different now than what I remember it being.
The Olympics is a giant scam. There's two things going on simultaneously, okay? You have the best athletes in the world participating in their disciplines. That's happening. And then on top of that, you have enormous amounts of money being made, and none of it's going to the athletes. It is a giant scam.
Yeah.
So the Olympics started with, a very pure intention.
Yeah.
The pure intention of just, winning, being the best.
Be the best from your
But
country.
somewhere along the line, it became this fucking enormous business, and the athletes never got cut in. No one has any power.
Yeah, that's true.
The TV networks don't want to change it. They're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
like, shut the fuck up.
This is getting us
Because they're just
views.
stealing.
Yeah.
They're just stealing money. Imagine if that was the case with the NBA or the NFL or UFC. Imagine if the athletes got zero money and everybody else is driving around in Rolls Royces and living in mansions. It would be crazy.
It'd be super crazy.
Yeah, you guys are fighting for glory.
Yeah.
You're not fighting
Only
for
glory.
This is not about money.
You represent your country.
We've done
your
studies,
state.
and it shows that when people fight for money, they don't fight that hard.
Yeah.
So, what? That's the Olympics. They're boxing for $0. They're punching each other in the face as hard as they can for $0.
glory. For
And this
glory.
woman today got punched in the face by a man.
Damn.
Yeah. They let a transgender, there's apparently at least two transgender boxers that are fighting in women's boxing. What the fuck?
I don't understand.
You can't understand because you're not retarded. There has to be something wrong with you to understand. To think that makes sense, and all you have to do is say you're a woman. No, but you're not, though. I say I'm a werewolf, but when the moon comes out, I stay a person.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Okay,
I want to.
This is not real.
I want to understand the from their part and their reasoning. Like,
Because you're a nice guy. You want to think that there's some part of this, like there's probably some sort of a reason. If they explain it to me, like, oh, I see your perspective.
yeah, I want to see the perspective.
There's
Yeah.
no perspective. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Because that perspective would gray the line to like, well, why not just let all men compete in women's sports? Well, men would dominate. And that's why you have Title IX. There's a reason why men and women's sports are separated. Because it's not fair.
Yeah, it's not
right?
fair.
There's a reason why the UFC has weight classes. You're not fighting Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
it's not fair.
Yeah.
Right? All these things are put in place to make things as fair as possible. Weight classes, gender
Article
distinctions.
says they're not transgender.
What are you talking about?
That's what this says.
They may be intersex? Wait a minute. Is this today?
This is about them, yeah. July 30th.
July 30th.
That's today.
But there is an athlete that they were saying was a male athlete that was Riley Gaines posted it on her Instagram.
It says they failed test that came back, testosterone tests, elevated testosterone.
What does that mean? So they took testosterone? Is it exogenous? Why are they calling this person transgender? Are they female to male? Like they're trying to transition to male? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
What? Okay. these two-
What article is this?
From Outsports.
Outsports. What is Outsports?
Well, I mean, I'd go to somewhere else.
But
it's
hold on.
just
What
the
is
first place.
Outsports? What is that? What is the... what?
Probably LGBT.
Yeah, it's LGBTQ. Yeah, it is. So this might be biased. Google transgender boxer, and what does it say?
Olympic
That's
trans
exactly where I
boxers.
started it. Said they were previously
They will fight in
banned from
Paris.
Women's events, but
Yeah,
it's
but here it
because of
said this
elevated
is the person. Algeria's Imane Khelif, I don't know how to say that, and Taiwan's Lin Yu Ting were disqualified from God, these pop-ups. Disqualified from last year's Women's World Boxing Championships after failing gender eligibility tests. Okay, that means they're transgender, Jamie. That Outsports is a biased website. It's unfortunately it's kind of propaganda about this kind of stuff.
Man, I don't. All right.
Scroll it up. Scroll it up again. So it says, yeah, the person has the XY chromosome. The boxer's chromosome test came back as XY. So that's a male.
It says it's alleged.
Well, at the time of the disqualifications, based on DNA tests, we identified a number of athletes who tried to trick their colleges into posing as women. The association's president, Umar Kremlev, told Russia's TASS news agency at the time, according to the results of the test, it was proved that they have XY chromosomes. Such athletes were excluded from competition. So I don't think Outsports is being honest. about this particular thing, because there's outrage all over the place about this one particular person that they're talking there that did test for an XY chromosome. That's a man. I know it sounds horrible to misgender someone and all that good stuff. All that's great until you want to fight women or even compete against women. Let's just cut the shit. Let's cut the shit.
Israeli fighter Natan Levy called it a disgrace. And Lerone Murphy said it was disgusting. Israel Adesanya said men should not be boxing women. While many in the online community were angered by the events, others had mixed feelings. Sodiq, Yusuf, and Chris Curtis refrained from directly criticizing Khelif, acknowledging the complexity of the situation and the difficulty in making a fair assessment. On the other hand, UFC veterans Dereck Brunson and Kamaru Usmand showed support for Khelif. They cautioned against jumping to conclusions and emphasized the importance of understanding all the facts before passing judgment. UFC veteran Maynard said, "I don't agree with male-born athletes competing in women's sports, but I also don't agree with a woman born Italy being persecuted for something she has no control over if it's a medical condition." This balanced view highlights the nuanced debate surrounding gender eligibility in sports and the broader implications for athletic competition. Comment below what you think about this.